I now call to order the 2017 Annual Meeting of Stockholders of Hormel Foods Corporation. Here with me at the podium are Jim Snee, President and Chief Executive Officer, and Brian Johnson, Vice President and Corporate Secretary, who will act as Secretary for this meeting. Each of you received a program as you came into the auditorium. It includes an agenda setting forth the business to be transacted at this meeting. This agenda includes the election of a board of 14 directors, the ratification of Ernst & Young as independent registered public accounting firm, the say-on-pay advisory vote on executive compensation, a vote on the frequency of the say-on-pay vote, and the consideration of a stockholder proposal. We will follow this agenda and conduct the business portion of the meeting before Jim reviews our stewardship of your company's business. We ask that you please hold any questions you might have for the question and answer period. Your program also includes the rules of procedure we will follow for this meeting. We ask that all speakers follow these rules, including limiting their remarks to 3 minutes, so that we may run a timely and orderly meeting. We appreciate your cooperation. We will now turn to the business we need to transact for this annual meeting. Mr. Secretary, has proper notice of this meeting been given to stockholders, and do we have a quorum for the transaction of business?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Excuse me. Notice of the meeting was sent to all stockholders of record as of December 2nd, 2016, which is the record date for this meeting. A quorum is present at this meeting. Approximately 91% of the company's outstanding stock is represented here tonight, either in person or by proxy.
Thank you. Proper notice of the meeting having been given, and since a quorum is present, I declare this 2017 Annual Meeting of Stockholders open for business. The polls for voting on all matters are hereby opened at this time, 8:02 p.m. on January 31st, 2017. The polls will remain open until all items of business have been presented. The Board of Directors has elected Jana Haynes, Gary Jameson, and Jim Anderson as inspectors of elections for this meeting. Our first item of business is the election of a board of 14 directors. In addition to me, the nominees for director are as follows: Gary Bojwani, president of C&O Financial Group and former chairman of Allianz Life Insurance Company of North America; Terry Crews, former executive vice president and chief financial officer for Monsanto Company; Dr. Glenn Forbes, former executive board chair and past chief executive officer of Mayo Clinic, Rochester; Steve Lacey, chairman of the board, president, and chief executive officer of Meredith Corporation; Jack Morrison, managing director of Goldner, Hahn, Johnson & Morrison, and former executive vice president of Pillsbury Company. We'd like to express our thanks to Jack for serving as the board's lead director for the past 5 years. Dr. Elsa Morano, director of the Norman Borlaug Institute for International Agriculture at Texas A&M and former undersecretary for food safety at the U.S. Department of Agriculture; Bob Nakasone, former president and chief executive officer of Toys R Us; Susan Nestegard, former president, Global Healthcare for Ecolab; Dakota Pippins, former director of planning at Vigilante, a division of Leo Burnett; Chris Policinski, president and chief executive officer of Land O'Lakes. We are pleased that Chris has agreed to serve as our new lead director; Sally Smith, president, chief executive officer of Buffalo Wild Wings; Jim Snee, president and chief executive officer of Hormel Foods; and Steve White, president, Comcast West Division. The second item of business is the board's request that the stockholders ratify the audit committee's appointment of Ernst & Young as independent registered public accounting firm for fiscal 2017. The third item of business is the say-on-pay advisory vote on executive compensation. The board believes that the company's compensation programs have been effective and recommends a vote for the adoption of the resolution to approve the compensation of the company's named executive officers. The fourth item of business is a vote on the frequency of the say-on-pay vote. While stockholders are free to pick any of the choices in the resolution set forth in the proxy statement, the board is recommending the adoption of an annual say-on-pay vote. The fifth item of business is consideration of a stockholder proposal, which was included in the proxy statement for this meeting. I will now recognize the representative of Investor Voice to make his 3-minute statement.
I'm Heriberto Calix, and I stand on behalf of Calvert S&P 500 Index Portfolio, which seeks simple majority voting on non-binding shareholders' proposal. By definition, a democratic simple majority standard counts votes clearly cast as either for or against, but does not include abstain votes in the tabulation. There are 3 reasons to support this proposal. Number 1, the Oxford English Dictionary defines the meaning of abstain as, quotation, to formally decline to vote either for or against a proposal, unquote. Counter to this clear and precise definition, Hormel ignores the abstaining voter's obvious intent by counting all abstentions as if against shareholders' items. Number 2, Hormel is inconsistent in how it counts votes, using methods that favor management while harming shareholders. For example, while counting abstentions as if against shareholders' items, the company does not count them against management's say-on-pay proposal, which is also non-binding, and does not count them against management's direct slate. In both cases, this boosts the appearance of support for management items while depressing support for shareholders' concern. Number 3, Hormel's practices make it a clear outlier on the measure of good corporate governance. The company is one of only 11 in the nation that count votes in this convoluted way, placing it among the worst 3% of companies in the S&P 500. Recently, many S&P 500 companies have changed their policies to adopt simple majority voting on shareholders' item, including Conagra Foods, Smuckers, Plum Creek, now called Weyerhaeuser, Cardinal Health, Alexian Pharmaceutical, and AIG. Therefore, please ask Hormel to join the mainstream, to be fair to shareholder concerns, and to embrace the good governance mandate. Cast your vote for Proposal 5. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us at our meeting tonight. The company's voting standards are consistent with Delaware law and are clearly set forth in our proxy statement. We feel that the current voting standards ensure that fundamental changes to our corporate governance procedures would require broad consensus of stockholders and also act as a safeguard against actions by short-term stockholders. The board thus believes that lowering the approval standard for the non-binding stockholder proposals would not be in the best interest of our stockholders and recommends a vote against the proposal. Is there any further discussion on any of these 5 items of business? All of these items were included in the proxy solicitation mailed to you before this meeting. We will now vote on these items of business. Any stockholder who has not voted by proxy and who desires to vote in person by ballot tonight, please raise your hand and keep it raised until an attendant has provided you with a ballot. Please complete the ballot and sign it and pass it to the attendant at the end of the aisle. While balloting is being completed, I'd like to report on executive retirements and advancements during this past year. Raleigh Gensler, Jeff Newton, and Jim Schroeder retired in 2016, each concluding a very long and distinguished career with the company. We thank them for their contributions and wish them well in retirement. Gary Jamison succeeded Mr. Gensler as Vice President and Treasurer, and Jana Haynes became Vice President and Controller. Donnie Temperley succeeded Mr. Newton as Vice President, Refrigerated Foods Operations, and Tim Fritz became Vice President of Grocery Products Operations. Tyler Husselbus succeeded Mr. Schroeder as Vice President, Engineering. Effective at the start of fiscal 2017, Jim Splinter was elected to the position of Group Vice President, Corporate Strategy. To succeed Mr. Splinter, Luis Marconi was elected Group Vice President, Grocery Products. In related moves, Steve Venengay was elected Vice President, Grocery Products Marketing, and Sven Neufeld was elected Vice President, Meat Products Marketing. Finally, Jody Farragon retired as Executive Vice President and Chief Financial Officer and as a board member at the end of fiscal 2016, after 10 outstanding years as CFO of the company. Jody played an integral role in helping Hormel Foods deliver exceptional returns to our stockholders and brought a strategic focus to a broad array of initiatives throughout the company. Jim Sheehan was promoted to Senior Vice President and Chief Financial Officer to succeed Ms. Farragon. In more than 35 years with the company, Jim's leadership roles have included President of Hormel Financial Services, Treasurer, Controller, and most recently, Chief Accounting Officer. He has extensive experience with financial policies, controls, and reporting, as well as the general and business unit accounting areas. I ask all of these officers who were promoted last year to stand and be recognized at this time. This concludes the business portion of the agenda. Since voting on the formal matters on the agenda has been concluded, I declare that the polls are now closed at 8:11 p.m., January 31st, 2017. I will now turn the meeting over to Jim Snee, who was named president in 2015 and was elected as the 10th CEO of our company's history, effective on October 31st, 2016. I am excited about Jim's leadership going forward, and I believe you should be too. He has broad experience with Hormel Foods over the past 27 years with roles in sales, marketing, logistics, purchasing, and general management, including leading our international segment for 4 years. During the past year, Jim has been responsible for all of our business segments in his role as president, and he is now going to talk to you about our strong fiscal 2016 results and the company's priorities going forward. Jim, take the stage.
Thank you, Jeff. Well, thank you. Thank you, Jeff. Good evening and welcome to the Hormel Foods Annual Meeting of Stockholders. It's my pleasure to be here tonight and share Hormel Foods' strong results for 2016, but even more importantly, our plans for 2017 and beyond. And as we get started, please keep in mind that some of the comments made tonight will be forward-looking. Actual results may differ materially from those projected in these statements. So 2016 was another banner year for Hormel Foods, and we continue to be inspired by our mission to produce some of the most trusted and iconic food products in the world for millions of consumers who enjoy our brands around the globe. We have a strong management team with an average of more than 23 years of experience with our company, and they're joined by a team of over 20,000 strong across the globe. We are all united by a sense of purpose and a desire to make a difference for our customers, our consumers, our communities, and you, our shareholders. And we are all focused on delivering results, because at Hormel Foods, results matter. So let's talk about those results. In our fiscal year 2016, we achieved record sales of $9.5 billion, which is a 3% increase over 2015. And we achieved record earnings per share of $1.64, and that represents a 29% increase over the previous year. Well, Hormel Foods is highly regarded on Wall Street as we have outperformed the S&P 500 and our peer group. We have now been able to deliver earnings growth in 28 out of 31 years. We have also increased our dividend for 51 consecutive years, a record matched by few other companies. And the balance that we have across our business units continues to showcase the strength of our businesses with 4 out of 5 segments delivering double-digit earnings growth in 2016. Refrigerated Foods had an excellent year, with sales growth of 6% and earnings growth of 38%. This impressive growth was led by innovative items in our food service group, such as Bacon One, fully cooked bacon, and fire-braised meats. Retail sales of Black Label Bacon, Hormel Natural Choice, and Hormel Gatherings party trays all significantly contributed to their successful year. Jennie-O Turkey Store delivered solid growth in 2016 as sales grew 6% and earnings increased 19%. The Jennie-O team delivered strong results in both the food service and deli channels, and we are back on the air with Make the Switch, Jennie-O's highly successful marketing campaign that encourages consumers to switch from ground beef to turkey. Grocery product sales grew 4%, and earnings increased 17%, led by Skippy Peanut Butter, our Spam family of products, and Holy Guacamole dips. Innovative new products also drove sales growth, with Progressive Grocer naming Herdez Guacamole Salsa and Skippy PB Bites as 2 of its top new products in 2016. Now, Specialty Foods saw a sales decline of 15% due to the divestiture of Diamond Crystal brands during the year, but still increased earnings 19% as Muscle Milk continued to deliver outstanding growth through new distribution and innovative new items like Muscle Milk yogurt-based smoothies. Our international division sales declined 4% while profits were flat. The strong dollar, along with some macroeconomic issues in China, impacted these results. But despite this decline, we couldn't be more excited about our growth prospects internationally. And while our financial highlights from 2016 are impressive, we know we must be focused squarely on our future. And I'm often asked by others in the industry, how does Hormel Foods do it? How do we continue to deliver solid financial returns year after year? And I tell them, it's our special recipe. As a food company, we have thousands of recipes and formulas, but perhaps the most important is our formula for success. The formula is powerful as we build our portfolio of brands that consumers love, accelerate innovation, complete revolutionary acquisitions, and build our balanced models across all of our businesses. We are well positioned to fuel more record-breaking years ahead. Now let's take a closer look at this formula for success and its powerful ingredients. Ingredient number 1, we are inspired by our brands. Nobody, and I mean nobody, builds brands like we do. It is both an art and a science, bringing high-quality, delicious, inspired products that are flavorful, nutritious, and convenient puts us among the most trusted and well-known food companies in the world. Making sure these products are produced by inspired people with an extra helping of creativity is what truly sets us apart. And while many of these brands have been beloved for generations, we strive to keep them as relevant today as when they were first introduced. More than 30 of the brands in our portfolio have a number 1 or number 2 market share position in their category. That is an enviable position, and one that our dedicated team of brand managers works diligently to protect and grow through creative sales and marketing strategies. And let's take a look at some of the ways they did just that in 2016.
When we make Holy Guacamole products, only the best will do. That's why we use real ingredients, like hand-scooped avocados. And you won't find artificial flavors or preservatives in our guacamole. Because life's best moments should be celebrated with the best food. And we believe the best stuff is the real stuff. Live wholly. Look, if they want to host Thanksgiving the old-fashioned way, well, they can knock themselves out. But that's not exactly your style. You bought Jenny O oven-ready turkey. You just slide it out of the bag and into the oven, leaving you with time for those fancy flowers. And that turkey? Well, it's not the only thing that ends up looking good. Best host ever? Yeah, probably.
Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. You just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on.
We love all that is natural. Let us share our bounty.
I picked 1 acre of raspberries to make this jam.
And I made this wine.
I got this honey from a beehive in the forest.
I gathered these nuts.
I just went to the store and bought Hormel Natural Choice lunch meat. It's preservative-free. Join us. You know you want one.
Ah, summer. And what's better than s'mores? S'more chili on that dog, please. This is Hormel Chili. We are Chili Nation.
I've learned a thing or two since my first jar of almond butter. Most importantly, when you start with simple, wholesome ingredients, the adventures are endless. This life's an incredible journey. Be sure to pack a little something to nourish the ride.
So as you can see, we certainly have some very creative folks at Hormel Foods building this great content to support our very strong brands. So ingredient number 1 was building our brands. Ingredient number 2, we are inspired by big ideas and our quest for innovation. Now at Hormel Foods, we're good at many things, but I would argue that we are best at creating innovative solutions, and our spirit of innovation is unmatched. Now every company talks about innovation, but Hormel Foods doesn't just talk the talk. We actually innovate. Originate, don't imitate. George's vision is still our vision, even after 125 years. Innovation fuels our growth. Innovation guides us as we evolve our legacy brands and revolutionize new products. Innovation ensures that our products stay relevant with ever-changing consumer needs. And quite frankly, innovation is part of this company's DNA. We get it. And because we do, our innovation is more than just marketing speak. Recently, we had the opportunity to use our resources to create a new line of products to help people who are facing a diagnosis of cancer. Given our connection to the Hormel Institute and our collection of inspired and dedicated people, would we expect anything less than success? Since 1942, the Hormel Institute has led the way in cancer research. And today, there are 18 million cancer patients that are going through treatment, and that number increases by 2 million or so annually. Unfortunately, I know many of us have friends or family members who have faced a diagnosis of cancer and are fighting to survive right now. And one of the biggest challenges these patients face is nutrition. So Hormel Foods decided to do something about it. And we found ourselves inventing a new brand and a new customer segment. And Vital Cuisine is making a difference. It's helping people better cope with the effects of this horrible disease. We get so many notes of thanks, and they really all pull at your heartstrings. And tonight, I'd like to share with you the story of one person who many of you probably know.
When they first tell you, wow, you've got a whopper of a tumor in there, you've got a lot of cancer in your body, depression sets in almost immediately. And you feel, well, I've lived my life, let's get things in order so it's easier for wife and family when I'm gone. My doctors were encouraging me to eat. I have 3 nurses in my family. They were encouraging me to eat. My wife and kids were encouraging me to eat, and I just couldn't do it. Because as part of the chemo treatment, made it very difficult for me to swallow. I had sores in my throat and in my mouth. When I got onto the Vital Cuisine drinks, it went down easy, made me feel better, perked me right up. Dealing with cancer is a day-to-day thing, one day at a time. Get up in the morning and be eager to take on some nutrition instead of, oh, gosh, I hope I don't have to eat today. Then I got down to Vital Cuisine. I said, hey, I want some of that. I don't know how I'd have made it without Vital Cuisine because it really did give me energy. I was able to get up and get out of bed. Then you get through the chemo thing and you don't want to quit eating it because it's a good meal. I'm still using it. I've been done with chemo for 6 months and I still like the product.
Well, we are pleased to have Skip with us tonight. And we ask him to stand and be recognized and representing those who are fighting the fight and surviving. We had Skip join us at our 125th anniversary celebration right on the stage in July. And Skip had sent me an email in advance of the meeting, and Skip was a longtime Hormel employee. And in his email, he said, Jim, I remember when the most innovative product this company had was Cure 81 hams. We sure have come a long way. So Skip, we wish you nothing but great health in the months and years to come. Thank you for joining us tonight. It's so great to be part of our company making such a difference in people's lives. So building brands, breakthrough innovations. Now let's talk about our third ingredient in our formula for success, strategic acquisitions. Our record of strategic acquisitions is enviable, and we're inspired by our growing family of companies and how they are bringing positive change and evolving the way that we think and act. And they all have something in common: inspired people and inspired products. And certainly this was the case with Justin's, a high-quality, rapidly growing nut butter company based in the natural and organic hotbed of Boulder, Colorado. And what makes Justin's even more special is their entrepreneurial culture led by their dynamic founder, Justin Gold, who was willing to spend some time with us this evening. So we're able to have the man himself join us tonight, the founder of Justin's brand. Justin's, are you there? Hey, Justin. Hope this works. We haven't tried this.
Hi, Jim. Hi, everyone in Austin. Just me, Justin, here in the Nut House, powering up our computers.
So, Justin, this is the first time many of these folks get to hear from you. What can you tell them about Justin's and being part of the Hormel Foods family?
I gotta tell you, Jim, we're really excited for all the additional resources Hormel Foods can bring to Justin's to help us truly become a global brand.
Well, you know, having Justin's along Skippy in the nut butter aisle is a great combination, and it offers consumers 2 delicious choices.
I agree. You know, although I have to admit, I'm a little partial to the Justin's brand. It's going to be very interesting to see how the two of us together can drive new heights for the category and continue to drive innovation as well.
Well, Justin, all of us are just as excited as you are about the future. So keep pedaling, and thank you for joining us tonight.
Hey, thanks for the opportunity. I am out of here.
So, I believe you can all see why we are so excited about Justin the man and Justin's the brand. And I'll tell you, our acquisition pipeline is robust and full. We are exploring numerous high-quality acquisition candidates both in the U.S. and around the globe. And so the final part of our formula is our balanced model that diversifies the many components of our businesses and insulates us from economic volatility and business fluctuations. Our formula for success drives us, our balanced model protects us, and both are being executed with precision each and every day through our dedicated employees. And we're confident about our future given this approach, but we know that we must continue to evolve and adapt our portfolio to stay relevant with where consumers are going. So where our formula for success is more about how we're executing against our strategies each and every day, our growth pillars serve as our North Star, so to speak, our strategic guidepost for continued evolution and growth in our dynamic portfolio. And so let's take a look at them now. Multicultural. In just 10 years, the world's population is forecasted to reach 8.2 billion people. Billion with a B. That's a lot of mouths to feed. And what will our population look like? The new normal will continue to be a melting pot of cultures, people, and tastes. Fortunately, Hormel Foods is at the forefront of this trend with our multicultural portfolio of products, including our Mexican foods portfolio, primarily represented in the marketplace by Herdez, Don Miguel, and Holy Guacamole. And we couldn't be more proud of our partnership with Megamex and Herdez, a great family company. And tonight, we have the president of Herdez del Fuerte, Hector Hernandez Pons Torres, and his brother Enrique with us from Mexico City to say hello. Hello, Hector and Enrique.
Hello, Jim. Hi, everybody. How are you, my friends? How's everything?
Well, it's so good for you to join us all the way from Mexico.
It's our pleasure. We're very happy to be with you.
Well, we're so excited to have Herdez as a partner in our Mexican food business and wonder if you could tell us about the trends that you're seeing.
Well, we are also very excited to be with you. We've been together for more than 20 years. I think we have a great relation. We built a very nice group of products. And I think we've built a great relation also between our two great countries.
Well, we've been proud to be a partner with Herdez for decades. So how do you see us continuing to bring the spirit of Mexico to every table?
Well, our partnership has a great opportunity, as I was saying, in the retail grocery store, as well as in the convenience and food service. But I think that the real growth that we expect from Megamex is through product innovations and through acquisitions. This obviously, if we can do it through our beautiful partner, Hormel Foods, it'll be fantastic. Well, I think Megamex is a great part of our Herdez del Fuerte group, and I think that we built together a lot of nice products for the American market. I think we can give more to the American market with great opportunities for the future.
Well, thank you again for taking time to speak with our shareholders. Adios.
We'll see you, my friends. Thank you very much for being there with you. Hasta la vista, amigos.
Well, we are so fortunate. We are so fortunate to have such great partners and friends. And our next area of focus is on the go. I think it's fair to say that none of us are getting any more time in our day. So on the go continues to be a significant trend we're focusing on across all day parts. Grab and go, as illustrated by our employees here at the corporate office in Austin, is a hot trend, and one that we know is here to stay. Since 2010, the number of on-the-go snacks consumed daily has doubled. From Muscle Milk to Rev Wraps to Holy Guacamole Minis, we are well positioned for the growing on-the-go trend around the world. And the next area that we believe will continue to command a larger piece of our portfolio are items that are healthier and more holistic. And consumers not only care about the characteristics of the product, they care about the character of the company that produces it. We are a society that's focused on a healthier lifestyle, and wellness has become a driving force in our personal and professional lives, both with our employees and with the products we create. As the population's longevity improves, the role of food for this new generation of consumers will be incredibly important. Think about the impact to Hormel Foods and our growing healthy, holistic, and wellness-seeking portfolio. The health and well-being of our society as a whole is a shared responsibility, and Hormel Foods is going to do its part. And we need to become more global. Led by the iconic Spam and Skippy family of products, our international sales have grown by 11% annually since 2010. But that's still too small. We expect more. And we continue to be inspired by our potential in our international markets. And we are investing in growth outside of the United States. And nowhere are we more focused on growth internationally than we are in China, the most populous country in the world. And as you can see in video streaming behind me, the team in China has great enthusiasm for Hormel Foods. And they joined us as we celebrated our 125th anniversary during our 125 days of celebration around our world. Now, we have a strong base of operations in China and dedicated employees on our team. Our new plant in Jiaxing is under construction and will be operational in just a couple of months, thanks to the dedication and collaboration between our team in China and the support that's being provided from many important team members right here in Austin, Minnesota. And remember that great team I mentioned? Well, it's late morning in China, but let's see if we're able to connect halfway around the globe with our general manager, Norman Gu. Hello, Norman and team.
Hi, Jim, and hello everyone in Austin.
Hi. So Norman, you're standing in front of a pretty big building. You want to tell us what that's all about?
Of course. This is our new plant in Jiaxing. This new plant will allow us to meet continued demand for Hormel Foods products, and for the first time ever, produce our iconic Spam family of products in country, specifically for the Chinese market.
Now, Norman, I know that we don't like to give tours, but I heard you created a short video to give everyone a peek inside. Can we see it?
Sure. This is our tumbling room. Each tumbler capacity is 8,000 pounds. This is our pickle room. Behind me is a mixer and a holding tank. Here is our packaging room. In Jiaxing, we total have a 12 packaging line. This is our raw material freezer. Total capacity is 4 million pounds. This is the defrost room. To the right is defrost cabinets. Each cabinet can defrost 28,000 pounds.
Well, Norman, thanks to you and your team for your efforts for bringing this project to reality, and I'll see you soon for the grand opening.
Thanks, Jim. We are looking forward to your next trip to see our progress firsthand. Goodbye, everyone.
Well, so as you can see, our formula for success, our balanced model, and our growth pillars are all critical ingredients in our strategic recipe for a bright and successful future. But as we all know, the best recipes are those that come with a healthy dose of inspiration. And that certainly is the case at Hormel Foods. So what inspires us? Well, we are inspired by our people, working hard each and every day creating solutions. And each year, the talent of our global workforce steps forward, creating solutions to help grow our business, becoming more efficient, and even helping the planet. And we do this through our annual Best of the Best competition, which highlights the projects our employees undertake to improve efficiency and develop new processes that allow us to maintain our incredible track record of success. Now, we have already determined our innovation and sustainability Best of the Best champions. And tomorrow morning, we award our process Best of the Best champion. And each of these teams is here with us tonight, and I'd ask that they stand and be recognized as I introduce them. This year, our innovation winner is the Herdez Guacamole Salsa team. And they created an entirely new product, please stand, within the category and added a new premium segment for the Herdez brand. Congratulations. Our top sustainability award goes to the Austin plant with their engine room water savings project. The project documented water savings in excess of 164 million gallons, and it equals 1/3 of our overall water reduction goal. Congratulations. And so now our finalists for tomorrow morning's Process Best of the Best Award. First up's the team from the corporate office with the Hormel Chili Optimization Project. Next, Progressive Processing in Dubuque, Iowa, and their Bacon Bits Cook Improvement efforts. Third, the corporate office team at Jennie-O Turkey Store found a way to enhance the production efficiency of turkey burgers. And our last finalist is a combined team from the Hormel corporate office, R&D, and the Osceola and Rochelle plants in their efforts to expand bacon capacity. So thank you again to all the teams throughout the company that submitted projects and continue to live out our commitment to continuous improvement every single day. And all of these associates and those around the world embrace our mission around the importance of food, which leads me to the next topic of what inspires us, and that is our food journey. As a food company, we have an obligation to ensure that our food is safe and meets the needs of consumers. But anymore, that's just table stakes. So how is Hormel Foods evolving its food to be better? And better means ingredients that you can pronounce. Better means a focus on nutrition. Better means understanding the impact of our food production on the environment. We are out to change the view of big food. We know firsthand that big food can be good. Good for our consumers and for our planet. Hormel is good, big food. Our consumers continue to have high expectations for their food. And why shouldn't they? And where does our food originate? Farms. And we are proud of the fact that we support the family farm. In many cases, our partnerships extend back multiple generations. Without the family farm, we don't have products for our shelves. Think about the ingredients that are grown by these farmers. Staples in our products like hogs, turkeys, avocados, tomatoes, and peanuts, just to name a few. We are on an inspired food journey with these farmers, So let's take a look at one of our best farm partners.
One of the things that we've said many, many times is the pigs got us into this and the pigs are going to get us out. Well, Jane and I have a family farm operation with our two sons, Matt and Pat.
Family's probably the most important thing in our lives.
And our goal was that if any of our children did want to be involved in farming, that we would be able to offer them the opportunity.
It's the best mix of all worlds. I mean, raise our pigs and raise our corn and soybeans during the summer months, get to enjoy the beautiful countryside. It's pretty great. I tell my buddies from the city that I went to school with, I said, you know, I'm just one guy out here in the corner of Minnesota just doing my part to feed the world, you know, and so that's what we're trying to do. And we work really hard to do the best we can with what we have.
I just feel that it's probably one of the most important tasks and vocations and callings that you can have in life.
We care for the pigs because it's the right thing to do. If they're not happy, they're not healthy, and if they're not healthy, they're not productive. Something my dad has always taught my brother and I is barns don't raise pigs, people do. Our biggest assets is the people we have working for us. And without them, we couldn't do it. There's thousands of families like us across the country that do what we do every day.
I think the family farm is the backbone of what agriculture is and what I want agricultural to be.
Gary's always told us since we were really little, you take care of them, they'll take care of you.
So what a dedicated and inspiring family, and we are proud to have members of the Tomey family with us tonight, along with several others of our family farm partners, and we ask that they stand and be recognized for doing their part to feed the world. But perhaps what inspires me the most is Hormel Foods' small part in making the world a better place. This year, Hormel Foods was named as one of the 100 best corporate citizens, donating millions of dollars to environmental stewardship, hunger relief efforts, and education in the communities where we live and work. We strive to bring sustainability to all that we do with integrity, passion, and purpose. And nowhere is this more evident than with our Project Spammy in Guatemala. Today, Project Spammy is helping to feed 9,000 families and a total of 30,000 children each month. Several hundred Hormel employees and their families have volunteered their time as well. And it's just one of the many ways that Hormel Foods is giving back. And let's take a look at this incredible project.
You know, going on those home visits, it was a real eye-opener to see the conditions that the families are living in. I just go through waves. It's really hard to see. But the good thing is that, you know, when the kids smile and, you know, you make that connection, and it makes it all worthwhile.
We saw a real opportunity to make a difference during their early development years. When you have a common vision and a common strategy, it works.
Project Spammy is an project of changing lives. Working in the past without Hormel without the SPAMI project. We just gave to the people. Right now, we are living with the people, suffering with the people, smiling with the people, and because they are part of us, and we are part of them.
Change is indeed possible, and it's amazing what the human spirit can do to overcome those obstacles, but it's to be able to instill that into a person with humility and dignity.
Thank you. So Alondra, who's on the screen behind me, she was one of the young girls featured in this video. Now, Alondra is 12 years old, and she traveled all the way from Guatemala last summer, including her first elevator and her first plane ride, to be part of our 125th anniversary celebration. And she stood up on this very stage in front of a crowd this size and proudly announced her plans to be a doctor. And I have no doubt that thanks to the work of Hormel Foods, her dream will become a reality. And Alondra was just one of the many wonderful highlights from our 125th anniversary celebration, as we celebrated around the world with 125 days of events that touched every employee and every location, culminating in a hometown celebration that I know I will remember forever. Seeing this community, our hometown, come together to share our collective success was truly inspiring. And who can forget the opening of the new SPAM Museum, which has now welcomed more than 100,000 visitors from as far away as the Philippines, Norway, Australia, and South America. And as you saw earlier, it was even featured on NBC Nightly News. And we weren't the only ones in Austin celebrating. The Hormel Foundation proudly celebrated its 75th anniversary, focusing on its continued mission of giving back to this community and ensuring the independence of our great company. 2016 was certainly a year to remember. And we also had a chance to pay tribute to Jeff Ettinger. Jeff retired as CEO in October of last year, and we are so fortunate to have him staying on as the chairman of our esteemed group of board of directors. Jeff, your leadership and stewardship, go ahead. Jeff's leadership and stewardship of this company and his passion for Hormel Foods and its employees will be remembered for generations to come. And as proud as we are of our past, we know that we have work to do in order to ensure a bright future. And as we move into our next 125 years, I want all of you to know that I am humbled and inspired to be part of this great company, and even more inspired to work with smart, motivated, and talented fellow employees who are committed to our company and our journey. So as we look to 2017 and beyond, I'd like to share with you our purpose, our vision that will inspire us for another 125 years. I could not be more excited about our future, and I want all of you to know that your company is in good hands with a talented and inspired group of employees who are focused on growth, innovation, and continued success for another 125 years. And as I told our team members during our 125th anniversary celebration, it's going to take a lot of hard work. And if it was easy, any organization could do it. But we aren't any organization. We are Hormel Foods. Thank you for your time this evening. And as we move to close this successful meeting, the Secretary has a report on the voting. Mr. Johnson, will you please give us that report?
I'm pleased to report each of the 14 director nominees has been elected by a majority vote. Items 2 and 3 have been approved by the required vote. For item 4, the stockholder's choice is to have a say-on-pay vote every year. Item 5, the stockholder proposal has been defeated by a majority vote. The final tabulation of the vote will be included in a Form 8-K filed with the SEC in the next few days.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. I want to thank all of you for joining us this evening and for your continued support of this great company. Enjoy the rest of your night.